If you've ever cursed at a computer, and I, for one, can't even find the power button, you're going to like this Star Trek episode. Like others that would follow it, What Are Little Girls Made Of? Deals with the theme of man versus machine and the dangers of being too dependent on technology. Ironically, for a show that was so dependent on technology for its basic premise, Star Trek often went out of its way to poke holes in the mindless way we accept it. The late 60s were a time that saw the real growth of the computer as an integral and irreplaceable part of our everyday life. Without computers, there wouldn't have been a space program at all. As this computer science became more and more a part of our lives, our fears grew of them taking over. This episode carries that fear to its ultimate end. From Fritz Lang's classic Metropolis to The $6 Million Man to RoboCop, it's the same struggle. How far do we allow the benefits of technology to take us without jeopardizing our humanity?
That role, I had to really go within myself and say, I'm half real and I'm half not real, but I have to appear real until a certain point in the story.
I'm Andrea. You must be Christine. And you must be Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise.
You'll see with each little nuance, which I can see, was very, very planned. To create the role to where I was slowly becoming human, not really knowing it, being sort of confused.
I do not understand. Why are you unhappy? You're with Roger again.
And I worked very hard developing that character, and I felt it was a very good acting part on my part.
Kiss Captain Kirk. Now strike him. You see? There's no emotion in her. No emotional involvement. She simply responds to orders.
Okay, we're deciding the outfit. And Bill Tice was a fantastic costumer. So he came up with this concept of like doing this crisscross deal, which meant that I could not wear a bra because it was would show on the back. The other thing too, at that time, you were allowed to have cleavage in the front, but no cleavage on the side. They had a censorship person on the set every day to make sure there was no side cleavage, and they put toupee tape on the side of the costume, so nothing showed on the side. I knew it was going to be a very sexy outfit. Me trying to make the transition from child to adult woman, I didn't mind the fact that they were showing me as a sexual, sensual woman. That I felt was good for my career. As I said, though, the acting was the real issue. To overcome my costume was my challenge.
Majel Barrett, who was Gene Roddenberry's wife, and she plays Nurse Christine Chapel, appeared or was heard in more Star Trek episodes and movies than any other actor. She was #1 in the first pilot, The Cage, and in The Next Generation she played Deanna Troy's mother, as well as being the voice of the Enterprise's computer. Although Chapel was introduced in The Naked Time, confessing her attraction to Mr. Spock, this story tells how she came to be a permanent member of the crew. And there were some great special effects in this episode. The split screen that allowed me to have dinner with my android double is seamless. And by the way, I thought I was very good dinner company.
I've never been a real aficionado of Nurse Chapel. I figured she was kind of weak and namby-pamby. I mean, after all, here she was a doctor, And in order to find a lost fiancé, she takes a reduction in rank and pay and signs on board this ship and goes out to find her fiancé.
I understand you gave up a career in bio-research to sign aboard a starship.
I know he's alive down there, Captain.
She finds him. He turns out to be an android. Now, he's not going to do her any good. She immediately signs on board this ship again for another 5-year mission, again at a reduction of rank and pay, falls in love with a Vulcan who only comes in heat once every 7 years. Now, this woman is a loser.
Thank you for letting me make the decision, Captain. I'm quite certain I'm doing the right thing.
This is not the sign of a real strong woman to
Staying with
me.
the ship.
And I kind of reject women who aren't, who are that way, I guess, in real life. And perhaps even afterwards, in looking back, maybe that's why I feel that way about her.
Well, I only met Leonard Nimoy just a little bit. He just had a small part in the one I was in. He probably won't like me for saying this, but I know he didn't like his ears. And I was told in the makeup department, don't mention his ears. And I went, no, okay, I won't. But he was, this is only the 10th segment, so he was like really uncomfortable being pegged with these ears, which I understand did cause him problems later on, that he was kind of identified with the ears.
Security, Spock here. Status of your landing party?
Ready and standing by, sir.
Have them meet me in the transporter room after the captain has beamed down.
But Shatner was his sexy, charming self, And I must say, when he kissed me on screen, he really kissed me. And if you'll notice when you're watching, when he's kissing me, and when we pull apart, not only is my lipstick gone, but my lips are like swollen a little. He really kissed me. Oh, and then another little tidbit is they had to shave his chest for that. Did you know that? Because he had to be cloned and be shown naked. Mr. Roddenberry felt that Captain Kirk wouldn't be hairy. So they shaved his whole chest, and he kept complaining, I'm itching.
Are you all right?
As far as I know.
In this episode, man and machine become integrated. We are one with the microchip, a frightening thought. But it's the direction we're headed for. At full speed, computers run the engines of our cars. They control much of what we do at work. They provide us with entertainment. And they are, for many who live on the internet or chat rooms, the main way in which we communicate with others.